Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Chit Chat Across the Pond. This is episode number 828 for January 21st, 2026. And I'm your host, Allison Sheridan. This week, our guest is Adam Engst from Tidbits. And we're going to chat about the wonderful world of menu icons in Tahoe, right?
There's not a phrase you generally hear regularly. Menu icons, a wonderful world. Yeah, whatever.
Entertaining at the very least. Well, on Tidbits, you linked to an article by Nikita Prokopov. Wait, I'll get it right. Prokopov. And she talks about the menu icons that have been put in Tahoe. And I thought it'd be really fun to talk about not just how horrible they are and how overdone and distracting and all those things, but how we perceive menus and things on our screen, how we find them, and how different we are as people in the way we do that. I thought that'd be kind of fun to go through.
Yeah, it's truly fascinating. And Nikita's article was really interesting because he, she, they, I don't know.
She, I believe.
She? Okay. She keys off of the Macintosh Human Interface Guidelines. 1992 editions, or there were previous ones as well. But Apple in those Human Interface Guidelines basically says don't do this in terms of putting putting icons in menus.
We should be specific what we're talking about. We're talking about when you go to a menu in the menu bar and it says File, and then the next thing down is Open. There's little icons to the left of every single thing in the menus now, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone?
Yeah. And so it's definitely it's one of those slightly tricky, it was one of those changes in Tahoe where like it's super, on the one hand, it's super obvious. On the other hand, it's kind of trivial. And so it's taken a little while for people to kind of get up the, I don't know, energy to talk about this. Because it doesn't like stop you from doing anything. It's just added decoration. But what it does do is it makes it harder to parse those menus on the first fly. And that can be a problem, particularly when you're talking about a new app.
So let's talk a little bit about the way you perceive menus. Like, how do you find things in a menu? When you click on File and you look at it, what does your brain do?
I am a word person. I read everything. I mean, I am literally looking at myself in Zoom, reading the pictures on the book titles on the wall behind me as I'm talking. I can't not read text. And so simultaneously, little icon-y things that show up in palettes and toolbars and whatnot, I see them all as little blobs. I hate palette and toolbar interfaces. Cannot stand.
Oh, where they only have an icon?
Yeah, like all the graphics programs. I don't know. I mean, I have to look hard to actually differentiate between the pen and the pencil and the paintbrush and they're all little slashy things.
Oh, you know what? The worst ones are the ones where you go to the help menu and they say click on the brush icon, but they don't show you what the brush icon looks like. And you're looking at a whole bunch of different things that look like brushes.
It's bad both ways. Like sometimes they show click on the icon and they don't name it, and so then I'm trying to parse. Like I don't even know what it is. Like
So
I
you
think
spend a
of
lot
these
of time
things in
hovering
words.
for tooltips.
Yeah. Yes. If you ever relying on the tooltips, the interface is bad.
Yeah, I think it's okay when you're not super familiar with the tool. Like I'm always trying to remember, like in oh gosh, what app is it? It's one of the graphics apps. It must be Affinity Photo or Designer, where I have to hover over to see what the submenus are and then hover over which one is dodge and burn and trying to figure those out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, there's a reason for words. And, not everyone understands these icons. And they don't mean the same things to everybody. This is one of my big irritations with emoji. That I don't use emoji hardly at all because I don't know what they mean to other people. When people use them with me, I often don't know.
Because we're old?
I think that there are commonalities. I mean, we've learned, for instance, from talking to the younger people, like you want to be careful when using the eggplant emoji.
Exactly. That was the first thing that came to mind. The only thing I know to avoid is the eggplant.
Don't use eggplant or peach. Don't use peach.
Oh, well, that one you can see.
But it's the same problem, right? That a picture. A picture is worth 1,000 words, supposedly, but I'll take the 1,000 words anytime because
Interesting.
you can say so much more in that 1,000 words, and actually describe what's going on and be understandable to people and things like that. Whereas the picture, who knows? Maybe they don't see color the way you do. Maybe their vision is not is not as clear as yours, so they literally do not see the details. There's all sorts of possible problems that go wrong with icons. The big win from Apple's
it can
perspective is localization, though. Of course, right? No language issues.
Maybe, except all people aren't going to be able to understand what we're about to talk about. But I do want to back you up, though, is I think words are more effective than pictures, but they take a lot longer. It's easier for me if I can see an icon and I know that's the one. I know what it looks like.
I don't think they take longer. I think they take up more space.
Well, but it can take longer to read than to just, like, I know that I've got a purple icon for Mona right now. If I look down in my dock, I'm just going to click on purple. I don't have to read anything to know that that's Mona. It's
I would argue that for me,
but it'd be slower for
reading
you.
takes no more time.
Yeah, well, and I think you might be unusual in that. Or maybe there's a whole group of people like you.
Well, I think that's it. I think that is it. One of the things that I didn't get into in when I was writing about this in Tidbits. Okay, so here's a question. Close your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see an apple?
Yeah, I'm one of those people who can't.
You have aphantasia as well.
I can't see my husband's face.
Okay,
I can describe it, but I can't see it.
Right.
It's just not there. There's nothing.
Okay,
but my dreams are vivid visually, so I don't understand what that means.
What are dreams? Yeah,
dreams.
Dreams are just weird. But for me, I can't see things at all in my head as well. I have no visual imagery.
Okay.
And so, to my mind, that's in part of why I don't like icon-based interfaces.
Right. Let me describe somebody who goes the exact opposite way. And I think I've talked about it on the show a few times, but I used to work with a guy named Niraj on web design stuff. And we'd often be on the phone, but it was back before you had screen sharing kind of things. And so he would say, look at the blue icon. And I go, where? And I wanted to know the Cartesian coordinates of it. It's on the bottom left. That's what I needed to know. Right. But I would say to him, look at the menu in the middle right. And he'd go, what color is it? So we realized after a while that we had to speak the opposite language. And it came most vivid when he said to me, he was telling a story about talking to his father, and he was trying to help him with his email on his Mac. And he said, click on Eagle Mail, Daddy. And I stopped him. I said, Eagle Mail? What are you talking about, Eagle Mail? And he goes, the mail icon with the eagle on it. Now, it's gone now, but I looked down and I was like, how long has there been an eagle on that? Yeah. I had literally never seen it. It had never crossed my threshold of it wasn't there. That memory wasn't there, and it had been there forever. So I think everybody sees things a little bit differently. I might see color, but not distinctive shapes, but you're seeing your brain is looking for the text.
Right. And Tanya is very much a color person as well. That she just sees blue icons. And if something changes the color on her, she's like, oh, I can't find it at all. So it's also one thing when you're talking like a fairly big icon on the desktop or the dock or in a folder or something like that. It's another when it's this little 16 by 16 black and white thing, right? You got so much less information that can be conveyed there, and one of them, and we can go through some of these criticisms that Nikita is raising here. But one of them is just like there's not that much you can convey in that space when you're trying to say, like, you're trying to convey the concept of open or save or rename. Like, how do you explain rename in an image?
Before we get into this too far, Adam corrected me and I double-checked him correcting me. I was wrong. Nikita is a he. So, just for ease of speaking now. Yeah, so the big thing that they changed with Tahoe is we used to have icons on some things, but now we have icons on every single thing, right? So they've got to be able to come up with more icons to try to mean things, and they have really failed
Well, to
terribly
be
at that.
clear, what we're talking about is icons in menus, which were
Right.
almost never a thing.
Well, you've got Sequoia in front of you on one Mac and Tahoe in front of the other, so we're gonna be able to do a good comparison. If you look at the file menu in Safari.
The Go folder, the Go menu has icons, which makes sense actually in some sense because those kind of associate with things that you
folders
would
and stuff.
folders, right?
Yeah, open Safari and just because that's one of the examples that he gives here, but just go to the file menu. I don't believe every single thing had an icon back in
There's no icons in
Sequoia.
Sequoia and Safari.
Under file?
Under file, none.
So new window, new private window, new tab, none of those things have icons.
Nope.
Okay. So
there are a few icons in bookmarks.
okay,
You
well,
have
bookmarks,
icons for fav-
that's pulling the favicons from those
Right,
things.
precisely. But well, it's right. It's right, and which again makes sense because you're connecting those to a different thing.
But edit bookmarks, does that have an icon or show bookmarks?
No.
Okay. Okay, so I thought there were some, but it sounds like there's very, very few.
Very,
What
very
they've done now is put icons on every single thing. And this article by Nikita, I just got madder and madder as I got down through it. Not because on behalf of people who do look at the icons, because I literally didn't notice this. There's one screenshot, I'm trying to find it in this long article, where they showed us one of the menus. Okay, it's the Safari file menu, and he erased all of the words in the file menu and only leaves the icon and says, okay, here's a test. What do these icons mean? And they're ridiculous. The first one is a rectangular box with a plus in it. Okay. Then there's a black rectangular box with a white plus in it. Then there's a square box with what I think is a plus in it. Then there's two little squares with a plus in it. Those are four different things, apparently. And for the life of me looking at, even though I've been on Tahoe since it came out, I have no idea what those things are.
Yeah,
those are apparently new window, new private window, new tab, and new empty tab group.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just, in some ways, it's just hopeless, right? You have too many really quite subtle changes to make in a 16 by 16 pixel by 16 pixel icon. So, again, what's the difference between, new window and new tab? I mean, are they? I'm looking at them from a bit of a distance.
Yeah.
But
new tab is a square, not a rectangle.
Right,
Totally
one's
different.
Rectangular.
Right, but again, it's 16 pixels, right? I want to back up, and I do want to get back to 16 pixels because that's another really important point that Nikita makes. But you were just talking about rename. And what they're trying to do is put icons on things that don't have a visual metaphor. Well, to the audience, if you were trying to come up with an icon, again, 16 by 16 pixels, what would you use to mean rename? Well, if there isn't an analogy to that, then don't put an icon there because you can't make a meaningful one. Therefore, don't put one.
Yeah. And Apple also seems to use arrows and like plus signs pretty heavily. I'm kind of looking at a couple of these things now. And which
like, is it up? Like, is it down? Is it diagonal?
I mean, like import and export have differently pointing arrows. I mean, there's not a lot of difference between export and share. Export is PDF. I mean, as I said, to be clear, like you, I didn't even notice these. Like, literally until I read this article, I'm like, "There's icons in Tahoe? Who knew?"
I'm going to be talking about this more in the show, but in the when I went through and mapped system settings for macOS Tahoe, I went through every single menu. and did all of them. Well, last week or this week when I was working on an article, I happened to go into one of the accessibility menus, and I think I was looking at help, or I would ask Perplexity how to find something, and it told me to click on the little eye icon. Now, what does an eye in a circle mean, Adam?
Info.
Right. No, this was a button that opened a whole bunch more options. I have missed like 40 at least things that are not in my system settings thing, because every one of these little items had a little eye next to it, and that was a whole pop-up menu. So the inconsistency is what part of what Nikita talks about here too, is they don't even, like, sometimes share is up and sometimes it's down, or open is up and sometimes it's down. They're not even self-consistent.
Black
Even
is
within
white.
the same,
Left is.
even within the same app, they give examples of where it's not, where they do different things for the same thing, different icons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a frustrating enough problem. So here's where I run into this problem and have for many years, which is when you are writing about something and you want to tell people to click on an icon. You can name it, but if it doesn't have a name at all times, or if you're trying to help people find it, it would be nice to put it into the article. But it turns out it's actually fairly tricky to get little graphics that you can put into text and refer to. I mean, even only Apple has started to do that fairly recently. Even with system-wide
Apple
things.
never gives you screenshots, right? You got to just figure it out from the words.
Never screenshots, but they've started to do these icons a little bit more
Okay.
in the help text support articles. So like one of my like long-standing project ideas is to spelunk through the system and pull out all of these icon files, because there are files in the system. Like I don't need to take screenshots of them and all that.
Oh.
But it's just so much work, and I haven't done it. Maybe it's not even as much work as I think it is, but it feels like it's a lot of work. And then you'd be able to say, like, again, clicking the I button. Well, rather than use a Unicode I in a circle, which is easy, I could actually use this little thing. What would be super cool is to turn that into a font, but then it still wouldn't work for the internet. So yeah, it'd still have to be graphics. Darn it.
Worked his way through there. Where do you know where those icon files are? Are they like in some
they're stored in
contents?
apps. Yeah, they're in the contents and the package stuff and .icns
within a
files.
specific app. So like you're saying, if you were working on Apple Notes, you would open the package file and drill down into it. Not the system setting ones, like but like if we were talking about Safari.
Right. And some of them may be at the system level because they're shared across everything, like the share icon. I don't know if that's true or not. I had a conversation with someone once who knew where they were and told me, and I could go back to that at some point. I said I've never actually done the full spelunking myself.
This sounds like a great rabbit hole. It sounds really, really fun.
Where are the icons?
Right. So back to the size of the icons, Nikita goes through and talks about the 16 pixels, like what we were just talking about. And the comparison he gives is, actually, he says the icons are 12 by 12 pixels.
Oh,
the actual resolution is 24 by 24 because of Retina, but the dimension is usually even less than 12. So they put in a screenshot here that says even Windows 95 had 16 by 16 icons. If we take the typical DPI of that era at 72 dots per inch, we get a physical icon size of 0.22 inches. So it's almost a quarter of an inch, 5.6 millimeters. On a MacBook Pro with 254 DPI, Tahoe's 24 by 24 icons are 0.09 inches, 2.4 millimeters. He says, sure, 24 is bigger than 16, but in reality, these icons areas are 4 times as small. And there's a great screenshot of Windows 95 next to a MacBook Pro screen where you just see how little these are. So they're trying to fit in, they give a screenshot of zooming. So there's actual size, zoom to fit, zoom in, zoom out. And there's apparently some thing inside the little magnifying glass that's next to all 4 of these. But I'll be darned if I can tell what those are, or even in some cases that they're different. And so if I zoom way up, I can see that Like actual size has a 1 in it. Zoom to fit has a double-ended arrow. Zoom out as a plus or zoom in as a plus and zoom out as a minus. But when they zoom in on the screenshots of that, the arrow is just like you can't tell that's an arrow. It's indecipherable.
If I take my glasses off, I have perfect vision at like 3 inches. So if I
Uh-huh.
take my glasses off and get 3 inches from my screen, I can see them really well.
Well, that's handy.
Yeah, right. Like,
Okay,
if you
well, how
want to
about the
be,
next one? I forget which app this is, but there's 3 different icons for bulleted list, dash list, and numbered list.
yeah,
And boy, bulleted list and dash list look exactly the same. Numbered list is I see sort of a little smudge next to it. Um,
yeah, right. It smudges on the left differently than the bullet list smudges on the left.
right. But so how did that add value? In that case, bulleted dash numbered. Or
Yeah.
make the icons bigger. Why did they have to make them so tiny?
Well, they are. I mean, they have to be that tiny to fit the text size. If they're bigger, then the text, then they're taking up too much space. The menu gets much larger. I mean, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying I can see why they're that
Maybe the
size.
text is too small.
The text may be too small too, but that's I mean, they're matching the text size, text height. So no, I mean, it's just ridiculous that they're doing this. and so many of them, even when you can see them, are meaningless. I mean, and one thing he says that are kind of useful, the really good ones are the moving window ones, where you're moving to like left side of the screen, right side of the screen, top, bottom, that sort of thing.
Yes, it's a square that's either black on the left or black on the right or black on the top or black on the bottom. You can tell the difference between them. That's good use,
Uh,
right?
yeah, yeah, and that's so that's that. So I mean, I think we're saying that like it's not as though icons should never be used in menus categorically. It's
Correct.
just there has to be a reason for it, and
Or a metaphor actually exists.
where metaphor actually exists, and there's something that you could use to scan. Like, I mean, when you're reading, left, right, top, bottom, top, left, top, right, top, bottom, all that kind of stuff. There's so many words there that are kind of the same
Yeah.
that you actually
Yeah.
have to stop and think about it. Whereas you glance at the picture and and
Mhm.
this, so like this is really, really the best one. Um, Whereas some of these other ones you get into, like he's got an example of select all. Um, you
Oh, yeah.
know, like
Describe that one.
it's a rectangle with an A in it.
With 2 dots on either side. So, like, if you're in preview
Oh,
and
you're
you
right.
press if you're in preview and you, use the text tool to write a note to yourself on a PDF, that's what it looks like. It's got 2 dots on either side and the letters inside it. So, apparently that's what select all means,
Yeah,
except it's wee tiny in the icon.
yeah. Um,
But that's
so
another great example. They've got text selection in iOS, and it's a different icon entirely. It's a square with maybe a
kind of a
dot above and below it, or is that
that's a
no, it's a little line with a dot at the top on the upper left and the lower right.
yeah. I guess nominally, once you look really, really closely and see what it says, like, okay, it actually sort of looks like you're selecting some text, in that, but you can't possibly pull that out of 12 by 12 icons. I mean, it's
No.
like you gotta get really up close and personal. And then there's some they just blow, like bookmarks. I mean, people
Yeah.
know what a bookmark looks like. It
What's
doesn't
a
look like a
bookmark look
book.
like?
It's not a
Yeah,
book.
it looks like a little rectangular tab with maybe a little cutout on it, like a little piece of ribbon, and sure, if you were born after, 1960, maybe you don't know what a bookmark is, but, we do, or
1967.
I do. 1967? Okay, so maybe after 1975 or you don't know what a bookmark looks like, but you know what a book it's like. I mean, you know what the save icon looks like even if you've never used a, floppy disk, but you know what that looks like, so instead they changed it to a book to mean
Yeah.
bookmark.
I would argue that the save icon is actually a really bad one, most of the time, because
Really?
most people, well, again, like you have to be of a certain age to have ever even seen a floppy
But you
disk.
don't need to know that. It's always been that way, so it's always meant that, so it's okay. Because even if It could be a spaceship. If they had shown us a spaceship 20 years ago, it'd be fine. It's always been a spaceship. That means save. I think
We've always been at war with Eurasia.
It seems like it should be easy, right? They've got an edit permissions one, which is a rectangle with some number of dots inside of it. 3 dots? I'm heavily using Control Scroll to zoom in on these to see what they are.
I will note also, like in Tahoe, save is not a floppy disk icon or anything like that. It's an arrow going down into a rectangle.
Oh, into a square. Yeah. I don't hate that one.
I mean, that one's not terrible. But I'm saying it's like floppy disks are not what people think of anymore.
Yeah, maybe. Under looking at close, it's an X.
Which is kind of meta.
Apple use an X.
Right.
Windows uses an X. Tabs use an X.
Oh no! It's if you hover over the red.
Oh, is there an X over the stoplight?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Yeah, you're right. I've probably seen that one before.
But that's kind of meta, right? I mean, it's not a metaphor. It's a meta metaphor, because it's not a metaphor for closing anything. X doesn't necessarily mean close. It only means close because Apple uses it mean close.
Right, and Windows.
Right, yeah. But the point being that it's not anywhere outside of it's self-referential in this particular case.
Hey, we're actually lucky they didn't put a set of double doors.
But you close the
right?
doors.
And the open ones, it looks like 4 vertical rectangles. Oh, I do like the edit permissions one, though. That one's great.
So,
Wait, I want to do one more. Mark as incomplete in some app is a circle with a check in it. Isn't that actually the opposite of what you would, if it was if it was complete? Wouldn't it be a hollow circle? Maybe.
I literally have no idea. Of course, then there's mark as unchecked, which has a circle with a check mark in it, and something else. Let me look.
Yeah, what is that thing down at the bottom?
It's got a little X.
Oh, tiny X inside a white X in a black circle on the bottom right side of a bigger circle that's hollow with a check mark in it. Yeah. No, come on.
So one of the other real issues that we run into here is that not all menus, even in Apple's apps, have these icons. So like I'm looking at text edit right now. And everything in text edit, file, edit, do, but then you get to the format. You've got icons for font and text, but then you've got make rich text, prevent editing, wrap to page, allow hyphenation, and make vertical layout, which may have just blown Apple's font designers' little minds because they have no icons.
the last three have no icons.
Yeah, and then there's list and table again, and those do have icons again. But
which aren't the worst icons? The table looks like a table. I don't hate that one.
The table's actually not
and
too
list.
bad.
I don't hate that.
And the list is fine because like we actually know what list icons look like. It's only when you're trying to differentiate between numbered and bulleted.
Bulleted, and, right?
Jiffy. But what the problem here is that you now have the left line does not go down evenly. So you're reading down. And you read font, you read text, and then your eye goes down to like instead of M for make rich text, you're like at the E for in make, because that's the word that's at the previous left margin of the text.
Right.
You're being forced to read ragged.
Yeah.
Which, again, we're not talking like the end of the world here. It's more just that it's bad design. Like you're not making it easy for the user as you should. You're making the user do more work than they need to do.
If you look at Safari, look at the window menu, it does the same thing. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11
Safari,
icons in a row, and then 4 of them, they're gone.
Yeah, but they indent those. Go to previous tab, go to next tab group, unpin tab, and duplicate tab.
I saw an indent on text edit under the format menu when it goes to wrap to page, allow hyphenation, make vertical layout. Those 3 that we just talked about, those are indented for me.
Not for me.
Really? That's interesting. That's what you meant by read ragged.
Wait. So there's a difference between whether you've got a document open and text selected. This is even worse. So So I created a new document and typed some text, and now those items are not only not grayed out, they are indented and make plain text and prevent editing have icons that didn't have
Wait a
icons
minute.
before.
Okay, I think yours is buggy because mine has had with or without any text in there, selected, not selected. Actually, let me close
What if there's no
the file and
document at
see if
all?
I can see. Yeah, let me see that. Uh, no, they're all still vertically aligned or left justified with whether they have a. Let me see. The text is all left justified, whether they have an
Oh.
icon or not.
So this is again one of my irritations with Tahoe. It's buggy. So it was wrong before, it is right now. And those
So
icons
I
for make
was
plain
wrong
text
before, and I'm right now. Nikita's gender. Are we sure it's not us?
So no, basically something changed. I don't but something was changed in Tahoe's menu in plain text edits Tahoe menu by me opening a document.
And then when you close the
And
document, it went back. It stayed
no,
correct.
it stayed the way it had changed. Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
So that's
that's
just okay. Now
cool.
wait. Okay, we got to test this now. So I got to quit.
We were discussing why Adam hasn't gone to Tahoe on his production machine, but
Mostly
only on
just
his
too
laptop.
busy, but yes. So on a fresh launch, those are for me with no document open. Those are outdented and have no icons.
Okay. Oh, so you can consistently reproduce this incorrect behavior. So let's
I
see.
believe
Let me
so.
quit and see if I can reproduce. This is good podcasting right here. Oh.
Are you seeing it?
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the format menu. Yeah,
Format
there's 5
menu?
things in a row that are left justified.
Yep. And they are not, and they are outdented now.
Oh, it's weirder than that. There's 5 things without icons. If I create a new document, there's 3 things without icons and 2 of them
Yes.
have icons.
Yes. And
So
they're
not
all,
only are they outdenting, indenting.
see? I mean, see, this is, like, I hate to say it, I mean, like, this isn't why I haven't upgraded to Tahoe on my main machine, but this is indicative of sloppy testing on Apple's part. Like that's kind of behavior that shouldn't be happening because the app shouldn't be changing under you in ways like this based on what is or is not open.
Agreed. The overall overarching icon problem seems to me to be I can picture a directive by Alan Dye. Let's throw him under the bus since he was the head of
Can we
design. And he's
Where's
gone
the
now.
bus?
But I can picture him saying, "Thou shalt have icons next to every single menu item, and they should be no bigger than 12 pixels. And good luck to you." And if you can be consistent, that would be awesome. Maybe didn't even say that, and then just unleashed every team. So the Safari team and the text edit team and the photos team, they're all working independently on just scrambling to try to come up with icons to mean things. And there was no guideline of this is what an open button looks like. This is what a close button looks like. There was no, panel of, so no documentation, no consortium like we have for the Emojipedia people to say this is what the icons shall be. So that consistency was never enforced from the top. It was just a scramble to get this to look like this. That would be my guess. That's what this smells like to me.
I think so, but it's a slightly larger issue though, which is when you declare this sort of thing that's got to touch every app, you're bound to end up with some kind of with mistakes and inconsistencies. It's a little bit of the liquid glass problem. When you change something that changes the look for everything, there's going to be edge cases that you don't understand.
And
it's like you probably
maybe
heard
not
the other
consistent APIs that, like one API that if you have a file open in a menu, it will be created this way automatically, not having to code it yourself because you're on the text edit team.
In theory, yes, but in reality, that's only true of the commonality. That
Right.
File edit are gonna be easy, but and help maybe, but after that. So I was just looking, for instance, yes. Okay, so look in preview.
Okay.
And
This is a play along game.
yeah, right. Okay, so I think this one's really quite funny. What is the icon in the view menu for hide toolbar?
A picture of the toolbar being there,
I mean,
and
it's
then
like there is
so
none.
no, no. No, 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 no. It's completely different. So there's hide to sidebar and thumbnails, and, because I have a check mark next to hide sidebar, that means it's showing, and thumbnails doesn't have one 'cause it doesn't say hide 'cause it's not showing, but the icon for hide sidebar is, got a sidebar drawn on the left side of a rectangle, and it has 3 little dashes in it. The thumbnails one is 3 little dots, and the 3 little dashes don't fill the left side of that little I mean, it's horrible. I think
So go
Nikita
look at
talked
the
about that
bottom.
one too.
Look at the bottom though, where there's hide toolbar.
Okay. Oh, I went to the wrong one.
You're still in the same menu, just the very bottom.
Which menu? Oh, hide
View, like
toolbar. Yeah, you're right. There's nothing.
nothing at all. And
What if I
if you
show it
close your
now?
current document, then you get
Yeah.
oh wait, it's another one. Okay, so if I launch preview fresh and look in there, that menu is called show toolbar.
Well, that's consistent. That's always been that way.
Okay.
Show and hide. If it's
But
shown, it changes to hide, and if it's hidden, it changes to show.
right, but as soon as I open a document, then I
I don't think
get then it changes to hide toolbar. Gotta find the right document again.
well, that's kind of
Um,
yeah, no, that's consistent. If it's shown, it says hide, and if it's hidden, it changes to show.
right. But if you close
That's
a document so there's no toolbar showing, now it says
mhm.
show tool. Oh, now it says show again.
I don't think we can call that one.
Yeah, that was it's just yeah, it's a little bit too dependent on what the last document state was. Anyway, what I was
Yeah.
curious where I noticed it was I was looking at a third-party app, MimeStream. So the developer of MimeStream used to work on Apple Mail. So he's very kind of Apple centric in terms of the way his thinking goes. Um, and I noticed that in the last release notes they had said something about how we have 10, menu icons for all everything in Tahoe. And so I was kind of looking through theirs, and they don't have an icon for hide toolbar either.
Huh. Well, maybe
So
that's the
because
human
you've hidden
interface
it,
guidelines.
I don't know. I mean, maybe is it they're pulling it from Apple, or I don't know. It's very very weird, right?
That is an odd one. I gotta tell you, you know what this overall makes me feel is I miss color because you could probably
Oh,
identify some of the
like in
stuff
the
if
Wizard
there
of
was color.
Oz, like suddenly there'll be color.
Well, no, but if you had color for these icons, you could maybe have a fighting chance of differentiating them.
Right. Yeah.
When they switch to everything's the same color, every app is the same color, I really miss that. There was no distinctiveness between the menu or the toolbar and the menu bars within the app or the app windows, I should say. So when you've got one behind the other, you can't tell if you're bringing preview forward or Safari forward.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is funny how this sort of thing goes in and out of fashion. We've certainly
Mhm.
had lots of color in the past. I mean, Apple's never been hugely garish, but they've certainly allowed a lot more color than they do now.
Well, yeah, when they had the skeuomorphism days, there was a lot of color, right?
Yeah, yeah. Although I
Definitely
remember way
different.
back when the first Mac 2, which was the first color Mac, um, I remember like it was a big deal because like you had color, but most of the interface was still black and still white kind of backgrounds and black text. Whereas PCs and Atari STs and Amigas and whatnot at the time, they went all in on color. It was color everywhere. And so, Apple had taken a very restrained approach, which was, a much more elegant way of doing it overall. But even that turned out to be too much, and they've gone further to like everything is monochrome now.
Do we want to throw the new icons for the creator what do they call it? Creative Suite? What is Apple's new
Apple Creator Studio.
Creator Studio, do we wanna
So
throw those icons under the bus while we're here?
this bus is doing a lot of work.
It is, it's doing
To be these are different icons. These are the app icons. And did we talk about this before? I can't remember. The
No, uh-uh.
Oh, okay. So the evolution of app icons is another related but sort of different problem in Tahoe. That we went from the highly skeuomorphic days when Pages had a pen, a fountain pen in a ink pot in front of a document kind of thing, to now where we have a left downward pointing line. Is the current Pages icon, because it's got to be as minimalist as possible. And there have been a couple
Actually,
of people who've
Pages looks
done
like a
icon
pencil.
histories that show this.
The Pages icon is a pencil. Yeah, you put a link to Basic Apple Guy's macOS
Yeah,
icon history, that's really terrific. The Creator Studio, the pencil is a diagonal pencil with a line under it. So it does look kinda
it's
like the
it's not
previous
that one's
version.
not that one's not terrible, to be fair, right?
No, but some of them, the, Pixelmator, like, I don't even know what that's supposed to be, or what's the one that looked like a compass? Not a compass, a gyroscope? Motion.
Motion.
Okay, so now
That one,
motion
I
is a
thought I thought
bouncing
motion
ball,
was
maybe?
it's a bouncing ball, I guess. Yeah, that one was terrible before. Like, I'm not sure. It's not a. Yeah, the gyroscope I didn't think was yes, it's a motion. There's motion involved with the gyroscope, but that one didn't make a lot of sense to me before either.
It's like
Um,
not like that's a top 10 toy these days. It was when I was a kid, and we had string and a gyroscope.
whoosh. Um, yeah, no, but some of these, I did like the numbers icon really does look like it's flipping you the bird. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean,
um,
it used to be a
but
different finger,
we used to have 4 fingers. Now it
but,
is
yeah,
3, so it's really much more centered. Um, but the like, Logic is one of the big ones. The original Logic one was like an actual mixing board with a keyboard and everything.
mhm.
Um, and then it became some kind of, like, I don't know, circly thing. I'm not
Well, it
quite
looks like
sure
a
what it's meant to be. Is it
disc,
like a knob?
like a CD or something is what it looks like.
Well,
Like you're burning a record or something.
yeah, I guess. And then the current one is just a circle with, I don't know, it's sort of a circle with, it's a little
With
bit,
some faded different colors of blue,
oh,
the
on the
circle's
rim,
sorta going
yeah,
around? Yeah.
right.
I don't know what that is. It could be the axle of something.
No, just no clue. I really don't understand.
Did you
Um,
notice GarageBand isn't mentioned in any of this, Creator Studio stuff?
no, they don't,
There's
because
no
yeah, because
GarageBand.
it's not well, because Logic Pro, isn't Logic Pro like GarageBand?
Well, a whole different class
Well,
of
but
proness.
this is the Pro apps. This is Final Cut Pro. So,
Right, but I wouldn't call Numbers a pro app.
well, the whole
I don't know.
iWork thing's a little random in this suite as well. The other
Yeah.
one that's truly inexplicable, I assume it's Main Stage, which I don't really understand. I don't know what Main Stage is for. It's for performances. Um,
Yeah, it
but they
used to look
have,
like somebody's badge with a guy
yeah, an
with a
all access
guitar.
pass for the guitar person, which that seemed pretty good. And now it's a slider with
Yeah,
4
with little
dots.
dots next to it, but I don't know what that app does. I had literally never heard of it until they brought it up with Creator Studio, so apparently it's not for us.
I said it really has something to do with literally on stage performances, for
Mhm.
musicians, which I mean, fine, whatever. But it's like, what does a slider have to do with anything? So, um,
You know what I think is funny is they're trying to get rid of skeuomorphism as much as possible, so, Keynote was a beautiful brown wood pedestal that you would stand at in order to give a
lectern,
presentation.
yeah,
Lectern, that's the right word for it, and then in the current version, it's a kind of a white lectern with a pie graph on it showing that you're showing some charts, and in the new one, it's just like a trapezoid bluish thing that might be a lectern, but when is the last time you gave a presentation at a lectern? Don't you show things on Zoom? I mean, if you're doing a
well,
presentation,
I
how often are
I
you in person these
I
days?
have done presentations at lecterns relatively recently, so
I have, but I would
yeah,
say 9 out of 10 of my
yeah,
presentations are not.
yeah. Now,
I can't use the Zoom logo.
yeah, there was someone who posted, the progression of one of the icons. I think it might have been Pages, over the years, and basically, they did it in reverse, so that you started with the really simple one, and ended up at the really, highly detailed skeuomorphic one, and the comment was, "It looks like the evolution of someone learning their craft."
As they went back in time, right?
Yeah, so they went back in time. Yes, if you're Benjamin Button,
That's
Uh,
awesome.
so
I
I mean,
is it possible for the dock for icons for somebody like you to see the name of the app? I was just
mm,
looking for that.
if you hover over it, you get it in a sort of tooltip.
Yeah, that's true. But that means you
Um,
gotta find it first.
yeah, I mean, I actually use the dock relatively little. Almost all of my app switching is done via keyboard,
Yeah.
either via Raycast, or I have all my function keys mapped to my main apps,
I, uh,
or the
I
app
I
switcher.
I've always been a, Spotlight launcher person, but I've noticed recently I started using the dock, and I don't know what happened to me. It just sorta happened. It's like,
Hmm.
well, it's right there.
It is. It depends a little bit on how many items you have in your dock, and thus how large they are. I have a lot of apps running at all times, so even on a
Right?
27-inch display, my icons are pretty small.
Yeah.
And I'm also working on 2 screens, so it's way off on the right side.
Ah, okay. Okay. Well, it is interesting talking about how different people look at these things differently. Whether you use the menu bar icons or not, I think it's still bad. Like, we could probably
Yeah,
universally find, a center point for all of us that we don't think it's good.
yeah, it feels to me like, I think Nikita put it well, when he said that the human interface guidelines were existed because there were certain things that were true about people. And software design,
Mm.
fashion, the design of fashion, and basically, what's currently trendy, that changes all the time. But what's true about people does not.
Oh,
And so,
okay.
and how quickly you can scan, or how your eye tracks down a left line, those sort of things make a difference. And so those are the kind of issues that I think they're trying to, or that Apple's running smack into with these changes. It's like they didn't really think it through, in terms of, how they were going about this stuff. And yeah, it's mostly just telling because Apple basically wrote the book about how to do this right, in 1992.
And
So,
the quote he put in from the, Macintosh Human Interface Guidelines from 1992 said, "Keep the graphics of the display simple. The number of elements and their behavior should be limited to enhance the usability of the interface. Graphics, icons, windows, dialog boxes, and so on are the basis of effective human-computer interaction and must be designed with that in mind. Don't clutter the screen with too many windows, overload the user with complex icons, or put dozens of buttons in dialog boxes."
well, I will say that when I was writing this up, I read through the human interface guidelines, and was that, and he actually missed what I thought was like the most direct quote, which was, human interface guidelines say, don't use any non-standard marks or arbitrary graphic symbols in menus. They only add visual
Really?
clutter to the menu, and people won't necessarily understand the significance of the non-standard marks. For example, they won't know what a circle, addition sign, or tilde in a menu means. Like, Apple just said it, came right out and said, don't do this in 1992.
Well, they don't use tilde, I guess.
Is there a tilde somewhere? I don't know.
I don't
They
know. Yeah, I
certainly
was just
certainly
looking on
use
connect.
circles and addition signs.
If you go to connect to folder, you're gonna see no? Yeah, well, it mine defaults is to tilde/library/preferences, but that might just be me. Wow. That's pretty funny. Yeah, well, what is non-standard? Once they put it into their icons, into their menus, is that maybe considered standard now? Because I put it in the menu. Now it's standard. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, well, this has been fun being cranky with you about this, Adam. We're always all joyful, and we felt like really going to town, even though both of us hadn't noticed this, which I think is pretty funny. Which it wasn't really bothering us, but now I'm angry.
Why are they doing this? Shakes fist. Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting question. And back in the day, I would have said that I would have given Apple the benefit of the doubt that they had actually done usability testing with target audiences. And would have an argument for why this was better for people under the age of 25 or something like that. You know,
Right.
that they think differently, they work differently, been raised differently. As far as I'm aware, I've never heard of Apple doing usability testing with the public anymore.
Ever.
I mean, it used to be a total thing, right? They would have these developer kitchens. They would do usability testing, where they'd invite people to Cupertino and sit them down and watch them through, mirrored glass as they played with the computers and things like that. And I have not heard of any of that happening. And it feels like it's there, like it's definitely one of those situations where, yes, there needs to be a role for form of like, this is where we as designers want the look of our system to go. But there is simultaneously these rules, these things that are true about people. The article, as Nikita says, humans don't get a new release every year. We don't, our memory doesn't double. We're the same basic blobs of meat and water that we always have been. And so, you can't change things and just assume that it's going to work for everyone in this, because you think it's new and cool looking.
Right. Well, I'm going to wind us up here, but next time on Chit Chat Across the Pond, we'll talk about the different radii of the windows in Tahoe.
And where you're supposed to click to try to move them, and why the scroll bars don't always show up.
Or when they show up, they cover things up that you need. All right, Adam, this was great fun. If people want to see more of Adam's great work, of course, you would go to tidbits.com and read the longest running newsletter, probably of all time, but maybe only Apple of all time. But
second oldest on the internet.
Is it really?
Yep.
What's older?
Yep. There's oh gosh, what is it? The AIR Annals? Association. I can't remember. I have to look it up. It's some like sociology thing that's been going on for a couple more years than us.
Wow.
So
you need to go convince them to stop. So that
there were early. Yeah. Well, the problem is it's not quite the same because it's like the journal of an organization. So like they don't need the kind of consistency. But the all of the people who started doing roughly the same thing I did before I did all have faded away by now. So like I've outlasted everyone else. but these people, I'll have to look them up. But yeah, it's some sociology kind of thing, I believe.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming on the show, Adam. We'll see you again next time.
Always fun. Talk to you soon.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Chit Chat Across the Pond. Did you notice there weren't any ads in the show? That's because this show is not ad-supported. It's supported by you. If you learned something or maybe you were just entertained, consider contributing to the Podfeed podcast. You can do that by going over to podfeed.com and look for the big red button that says Support the Show. When you click that button, you're going to find different ways to contribute. You can donate one time through the big Donate button with a credit card or Apple Pay, or you can use PayPal. If you want to make a recurring contribution, click the Patreon button. Keep in mind, I don't charge Patreon for Chit Chat Across the Pond or Program by Stealth episodes, just once a month for the NosillaCast. That keeps it simple. If you want to contact me for any reason, you can email me at allison@podfeed.com, and you can follow me on Mastodon at podfeed.com/Mastodon. Maybe you want to talk to other NosillaCastaways? You can do that in our Slack group at podfeed.com/Slack. Thanks for listening, and stay subscribed.